I almost didn't see the strength behind your smile, but now it's impossible to ignore. You've changed in ways that have left me in awe, and I realize I've been walking right past your true essence all this time. I never noticed before, but now I see how your experiences have shaped you into someone who is absolutely unstoppable. The changes you've made aren't just about appearance, they've deepened your soul in a way that's truly inspiring. It's astonishing how much you've grown, how much you've learned, and how beautifully that's reflected in your every word and action. In the time we've been apart, you've blossomed into someone whose strength and beauty I now find irresistible. You've changed, but you've done so in a way that makes you even more grounded, more centered, more present. I almost missed the beauty of your growth, but once I saw it, I couldn't turn away from the powerful person you've become. You've transformed into someone who no longer just exists, but someone who actively creates their own destiny. I couldn't have imagined this version of you before, but now I can see how everything you've been through has shaped this amazing person. It's not just that you've changed, it's that you've grown in ways that will forever leave a mark on everyone you meet. I didn't realize the full depth of your transformation until now, but now I can see how far you've come. The changes in you are a reflection of your strength and your willingness to evolve into something more powerful than I ever had thought possible. What I see now is someone who is so at peace with themselves, someone who embraces their past and uses it to fuel their incredible transformation. There was a time when I could barely recognize the person you were, but now I see that the changes were exactly what you needed. You've come so far in your journey, and it shows in every decision you make, every word you say, every step you take. I see now that the changes were necessary, that your transformation was inevitable, and it makes you all the more powerful. Sometimes growth is so subtle that you almost miss it, but when you really look, you realize the person in front of you is a complete masterpiece. Your transformation is like a quiet revolution, something I almost missed, but now I can't unsee. You've grown in ways that make me admire you even more. It's clear now how much your journey has shaped you. It's amazing how much someone can evolve and yet still carry the same spirit that once drew me in. The changes in you are undeniable, but it's the inner strength that radiates from you that truly stands out. In your transformation, I see not just the changes, but the wisdom that has emerged from your growth. You've become someone who is no longer afraid to show their true self. That courage is breathtaking. I never imagined you'd change this much. But now I see it's been the kind of change that has made you stronger and more beautiful. I see the past in your eyes, but I also see the strength you've gained from everything you've been through. You've evolved into a person who is no longer defined by their past, but by their resilience and growth. The way you stand now, so confident and sure, shows me that the person you are today was always meant to be. I almost walked past you, but when I saw the depth of your transformation, I couldn't help but stop in awe. You've blossomed in ways that have taken me by surprise, and I can't help but be amazed by the person you've become. It's incredible how much you've grown, and yet it feels like the more you change, the more you become yourself. You've faced challenges and come out the other side as someone I now deeply admire for your strength and grace. I didn't expect to see such a powerful transformation, but now I know that everything you've been through has led you to this beautiful place. The changes in you are subtle yet profound, like a sunrise that slowly brightens the world without anyone noticing until it's fully shining. You've grown so much that even your smile now speaks of strength and self-love. It's amazing to see someone evolve in such a way that they don't just grow older, they grow wiser, more authentic, and more radiant. I almost missed how much you've transformed, but now I see that everything about you exudes a quiet power. What I see in you now is a person who has gone through so much and emerged more whole than ever before. The person you've become is not the person I once knew, but that's what makes it so amazing. The growth, the depth, the evolution. You're not the same, and yet, in so many ways, you're more true to yourself than ever before. You've become someone who is both gentle and fierce, a perfect balance of vulnerability and strength. The transformation you've gone through is like the metamorphosis of a butterfly, something so beautiful that it takes my breath away. I almost walked right past you, but I had to stop and notice the person you've become, so different, yet still so familiar. The changes in you are undeniable. You've evolved in ways I never imagined, but you still have that same spark. You've changed, but it's the kind of change that has made you more real, more alive. I almost didn't recognize it at first. Sometimes the person you used to be fades, but the essence of who you are remains. I've just learned to see you differently now. I walked right past you, but the change in your soul was impossible to miss once I looked again. You've transformed in ways that make my heart ache with both pride and nostalgia. I almost didn't recognize your strength. The version of you I knew is still there, but it's wrapped in new layers of wisdom, resilience, and beauty. You've evolved into someone I admire even more, and I almost let that moment slip by without truly noticing. The way you carry yourself now shows how much you've grown. I almost missed the incredible journey you've walked. It's funny how people change. The deeper you grow, the more you become yourself. And I almost didn't notice how beautiful that change is. I thought I knew you, but the person before me today is something extraordinary. It's like meeting you for the first time all over again. Change isn't always visible at first glance, but when I really saw you, I knew you'd become someone unrecognizable, yet full of wisdom. There's something different in your eyes now, a quiet strength that was always there, but it's clearer now than ever. I can't help but admire how far you've come, how much you've learned, how you've become the version of yourself you were meant to be. I never expected to see the change in you so quickly, but here you are, standing stronger than ever. You've shed the past in the most graceful way, emerging as someone even more beautiful, more aware, and more grounded. Sometimes change is subtle, but when I saw you again, I knew it was the kind of transformation that had been years in the making. You almost passed by me without a second glance, but I had to take a moment to marvel at the person you've become. The shifts within you are subtle but powerful, like the seasons changing, quietly but profoundly altering everything around you. In the blink of an eye, you've become someone who radiates a quiet confidence, one that could move mountains. It's clear now that you were never stuck in the past. You were always evolving, and I almost missed the beauty of that journey. You've become someone who no longer apologizes for their growth. That strength is a sight to behold. The person you are today doesn't just exist in the world. They create their own space with such elegance and poise. I almost walked past you, but now that I see the transformation, I realize I was blind to the power of your growth. You've changed so much, but the more I look at you, the more I see how much you've stayed true to yourself through it all. There's a new depth in your voice, a new light in your smile. I almost didn't realize how much you've transformed. You've become someone who is living in their truth, unapologetically, and with so much grace. It's incredible how much you've grown. I almost didn't recognize the person who now stands so powerfully in front of me. The change in you isn't just external, it's in the way you carry yourself, in the way you see the world. I almost missed how strong you've become, how much your journey has shaped the person you are now. The beauty of your transformation isn't in the way you look, but in the way you live and love. You've become a vision of strength, a testament to the power of embracing change and growth. It's as if you've shed your old skin and emerged as someone I deeply respect and admire. When I first saw you, I almost walked away, but then I realized you're not the same person I once knew, and that's a good thing. It's amazing how much someone can change while staying completely true to who they are at the core. I can see the journey you've walked in the way you carry yourself now, and I almost walked past that quiet strength. You've transformed in such a way that I almost didn't realize it, but when I did, I couldn't look away. The changes in you are subtle, but they've made you someone who radiates such quiet strength and wisdom. You've grown into someone who is not afraid to embrace their own power. It's a beautiful transformation. You're no longer the person I once knew, and yet, in many ways, you've always been the same. Only now, you're more fully yourself. Sometimes growth looks like 1,000 small steps, but in your case, it looks like an extraordinary leap forward. You've come so far, and yet you've remained the person I always admired. The transformation is real, but the essence is still you.